Good morning, my dear, dear, dear hookers. I just wanted to say thank you for all of your comments, for watching my videos, for subscribing to my channel, for liking my videos. Without you, I literally am nothing. And I couldn't do this without you. I mean, I could, but what good would it do anybody? Anyway, so I had, first of all, thank you to the wonderful person who put the timestamp on there. I will figure it out. I promise. I'll figure it out. I just don't know yet. And to the other person who asked me to clarify the star round. Okay. Before I do that, I want to say it does not matter how many points you want to put on a star. It's always going to be your fourth round because you have to have it divisible by 4. Okay. And so it doesn't matter if you want to make a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 100 point star. I think a 100 might be a bit much, but okay, you do you. But it's always going to have your initial start. That's going to dictate how many points you have. So for example, in this one, again, I started with a 12 because I wanted exactly the same. But if I wanted to start with a 6-pointed star, I would only put 6 double crochets in my center. And then I would build out from there. And the same thing goes for all of them, okay? No matter how many points you want, you start with that number of crochets in the middle, and then you crochet in the round until you get to your 4th round. Then you build the star, and that's where we're at today. So what we're going to do is, I've already slip stitched, so into this stitch, okay, this is the stitch I slip stitched into, and you can see the purple going into the pink. That's the one we're going to start this on. So again, do the twist, come into that stitch, and we're going to make half a star point. Okay, so there's 1, and in the same stitch, 2 double crochets. Okay, then we are going to skip 1 and into the next one. So here's our first one, skip the next one, and then into that next one, we're going to do a double crochet. So into the 3rd stitch, right? So 1, 2, 3, 3rd. Then we're going to skip another stitch, okay? And in the next stitch, we're going to create a star point, okay? Nice and slow. Chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets in that very same stitch. So let's take a look at that again. We have our half star point here so that we can finish up with a nice neat star point. Then I've skipped 1 stitch and I've single crocheted into the very next stitch. Then I skip another stitch and into the next stitch. So that's stitch number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so technically this begins our pattern repeat. All right, so I've got my star point, I skip the next stitch, okay, and then I do a single crochet into the very next stitch. Then I skip 1 more stitch and I do a star point. So 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, so there we are. So we go to the last one, and I've got my technically my first stitch, but there's, lots of stitches going on there, but that's technically my first stitch. My second is a skip stitch. 3rd is a single crochet, and then my 4th is a skip stitch. So that's going to be your pattern repeat all the way around. Your star point, skip a stitch, single crochet, skip a stitch, star point. So let's do that again. So we've got our star point. We're going to skip this very next stitch, okay? And into the next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. All right? Then I'm going to skip another stitch, and I'm going to do a star point. All right? 2 chains and 2 doubles. 2 doubles. Okay. So there we go. Now, as you can see, that sets us up nicely, and we're going to do another round to show you what happens on the next round. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. So now again, I've got my first double crochet filled up in the thing with a star point. Then I'm going to skip one stitch, and in my next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. Okay, so I've got my star point, I've skipped a double crochet. In my next double crochet, I'm doing a single. I'm going to skip the next one and do a star point in the next one. Chain 2 and 2 more double crochets. All right, so again, we're going to skip that next double crochet. We're going to put a single crochet into the next one. Okay, so we've got 1, then we skip, and then single crochet, then we skip. Okay, so we skipped that one, and into this next one, another star point. All right, there we go. So basically we're skipping every second stitch all the way around. So here we are, we've got our our star point, skip, single crochet, and then skip the next stitch. And in the next stitch, we're going to do another star point. All right. Oops, chain 2. And then 2 more double crochets. And like I said in the last video, it doesn't matter whether this is row number 1 or row number 101, which is where I'm just about at the start, the picture that is at the beginning of this video. The chocolate star is just about done. I've just got to do a couple more rows of the milky chocolate, and then I'm going to go back to the caramel and then the nougat, and then it's done. I quit. All right, so here we go back. So I've got to skip it. So I've done my star point, skip the next double crochet, single crochet, skip that next double crochet, and into the next one, we're going to do a star point. Whoops. Okay, so now I'm going to do one on the showing the top of everything. So here's the one I did that star point in. So here's my next V I'm going to skip. My next V I'm going to catch and do a single crochet. So there's my there. And now I'm going to skip the next V, and into the next V I'm going to do my star point. Okay. Oops, there we go. And there we go. All right, let's do that one more time. Oh, we're almost done. So I've got my star point, skip the next V. Into the next V, we're going to do a single crochet. Skip, so there's my single. I'm going to skip the next V, and I'm going to do a star point in the next V. So 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more doubles, 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next double crochet. So skip this one, and into the next one, we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to skip, and then we're going to do a star point. Okay, is that showing it just a little bit better? Nice and slow. We're going to do that next round because the next round is still the setup round. After that, it's all golden. All right. So there we are. Now we're going to skip that next V right there, and we're going to single crochet into the next double crochet. Now we're going to skip this one, and we're going to do a star point into this one. So 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, now we're going to, we're just about to the end. Yeah, I think I might have messed up my count there, but that's okay. I can make this work. So I'm going to skip. I'm going to do my single crochet. And I think I might have skipped one too many stitches in my, oh no, there it is. There's my stitch. So I'm skipping this one back into this very, very first, okay? So back into this one, not this one here. We're going to do our last 2 double crochets. All right, 2. And then we're going to do a half double to join. Okay, a half double slip stitch. So I'm going to do a yarn over. I'm going to find my very first stitch. So for those of you who did the standing double, you want to catch that standing double. For those of you who did a chain 2, then created your double crochet, don't do the chain 2, do the double crochet. For those of you who did the chain 3 and then a double and then your second double crochet, you want to catch the top of the chain 3. But for me, I want to catch the top of my standing double. Okay, so that gives me my 2, my chain 2, and my 2. And there is my 12 points that I need to build on. All right, so here we are. We're going to do this next round, and we go into the chain 2 half double crochet space, and we're going to do our standing double. You see that sets me up to be right in the middle. And then we're going to do another double crochet. Now in this first where we slip stitched into last round, okay, I'm going to do a double crochet. Now in this, the last of the setup rounds, because we have to, I'm sorry, one moment. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. So with this one, we have to skip the last double crochet of our point, plus the single crochet, plus the first half double of our first double of the next point. And you're going to go into the last double before the chain 2 space, and you're going to do 1 double crochet. Then we're going to create our star point. 1, 2, chain 2, 1, and 2. Now the reason we're doing that is because we're setting ourselves up. Oh goodness. We set ourselves up to do the points by doing that single crochet, but now we get to ignore that single crochet from here on in. We never do a single crochet any of the rows from here on in. Okay. So again, we're going to do that first double crochet after the chain 2 space, and we're going to do 1 double crochet in it. All right. Then I'm going to skip that next double crochet. I'm going to skip my single crochet, and I'm going to skip the first double crochet of that next star point. And I'm going to do a double crochet in the second double crochet of the star point from the round before. Now in the chain 2 space, I'm just going to do a star point. So 1, 2, chain 2, 1, and 2. And again, we're going to catch this very first double crochet and put a double crochet in there. There we go. Now we're going to skip this double crochet, this single crochet, and and the first double crochet. And in the last double crochet before the chain 2 space, we're going to do a double crochet. All right. And then we do our star point. 2, chain 2, 1, and 2. All right. How's that going now? Okay, so we've got a bit of a hole here, and that's fine because I think it just kind of lends itself really nicely to making this, it just delineates this nicely. All right, so that's kind of why I stole Mom's pattern, is because I really liked it. All right, so now we've done our star point. In the very first double crochet after the star point, we're going to double crochet. yarn over, and then we're going to skip the second double crochet. We're going to skip the single crochet, and we're going to skip that first double crochet. But in the last double crochet before the chain 2 space, that last double crochet, we're going to do we're going to do a double crochet. Okay, and now we're going to create our start point. 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 more. 1 and 2 double crochets. So again, here we go. We're going to take that first double crochet and we're going to do a double crochet in it. We're going to skip, 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 and then in this last double crochet, we're going to do a double, whoopsie, I didn't yarn over. Last double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet. Now in the chain 2 space, again, we are creating a star point, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Oh, I really like this yarn. And then again, in this first double crochet after the chain 2 spot, right there, okay, we're going to do our first double crochet. Or I guess our last double crochet technically, but whatever. And then we're going to skip, skip, and skip, and then into the last double crochet before the star point, we are going to do a double crochet. And then in the chain 2 space, we are going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. By the time I finish these blankets, I'm going to be well and done by this. All right. So there we are. Now I'm going to take again that very first double crochet right there after the chain 2 space, and I'm going to create a double crochet. Then I'm going to skip a double, skip my single, skip a double, and then I'm going to, in that last double crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet. All right, now I'm back at my start point. So 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. We should be, we're just about around. We'll do this one. This will be a little bit longer than I thought. Okay, so now we're going to do a double crochet in the first double crochet after the chain 2 space, and then we're going to skip a double crochet, skip a single crochet, skip a double crochet, and do a double crochet in that last double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do our star point. 1, 2, 2, and 1 and 2. Again, I'm going to do a double crochet in my first double crochet. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do a double crochet in my last double crochet. Okay, then in the chain 2 space, we're going to do 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 and 2 double crochets. Okay, we are just about done. We only got a couple more to go. Okay, there we go. So I'm doing a double crochet, 1. Now I'm going to skip, skip, and skip, and there we go. In my last double crochet, I'm going to do a double. Then I'm going to do a star point. So 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 1 and 2 double crochets. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to do my double crochet in that first double crochet after the chain 2 space. I'm going to skip, 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 and a double crochet in the last double crochet before the chain space. All right, now I'm going to do a star point. 2, 1, 2 chains, and 1 and 2 double crochets. And we're just about done. This is our last full star point. So again, I'm going to do a double crochet, 1, and I'm going to skip the next double, skip the next single, skip the next double, and in this, whoopsie, in this last double crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet. Now in that chain 2 space. I'm going to do 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. And then I'm going to do a half double to join. Now this is where I broke the yarn, but for this tutorial, I'm not going to break the yarn. So as you can see, we've got this beautiful, beautiful flat surface. It's just going to build up beautifully. And as you can see by the chocolate one at the beginning of the video, it has that lovely ripple on a ripple. So I'm just loving it. It's just turning out beautifully. So again, I'm going to do the half double to join. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go into my very first stitch, if I can. There we go. Into my very first stitch. I'm going to bring it through, and then I'm going to bring it through all 3. And that again sets me up for the very beginning. So now this round, okay, this round is the same round for every other round because we've made the adjustment for the single crochet. All right. So now from here on in, all you're going to be doing is adding stitches every time you go around. So again, I'm going to do my standing double, and I'm going to do a second double in here. But last time we did one, we did one extra single double crochet, sorry everyone, getting tongue-tied already. So I did my star point and I did one extra double crochet. Now we're going to do 2 extra double crochets. Okay, so I've got my star point started into the stitch that I slip stitched into. So right in there, I do a double crochet, as long as I didn't split the yarn, which I did. Sorry, everyone. So I'm going to do a double crochet, and I yarned over twice. Let's try that one more time. Okay, so I've got 2 double crochets to start my star point. Then I'm going to do 1 double crochet, and in the next, this one's a little tight, so I am sorry about that, but in the next double crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet as well. So now there's my 2 star points, my 2 double crochets from the star point last time. Okay, there's the one I want to skip, and there's the one I want to skip. So I'm going to only skip because we don't have a single crochet this time. So now I only have to skip 2 double crochets, and that'll give me 1 and 2 on the other side. Okay, see what I did there? And then I come into the middle and I do my star point. 1, 2, chain 2, and 1 and 2. So let's do that again. So we're finished our star point. Now we see we've got 3 double crochets. We want to do double crochets only in the first 2. All right. So 1 and 2. Now we are going to skip the valley. So these 2 double crochets we're going to skip. Okay. And then in these last 2 double crochets, I'm going to do a double crochet. So 1 and 2, and that takes me to my next chain 2 space. Okay, so let's do our next star point. We'll do this one more time. 2, chain, sorry everyone, I split the yarn. Chain 2 and 1 and 2. So again, there we are. We've got 3 double crochets from the round before. We only want to do double crochets in the first 2. Okay, there we go. I want to skip 1 and 2 to create our valley. And we go 1 and 2. And now we're going to do our star point. Oopsie. There we go. Chain 2 and 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2. So let's do that again. So I've got 3 double crochets from the round before. I want to go into the first 2. So there's 1 and 2. I want to skip my valley. 1, 2. and I want to catch the last two. Oopsie, I forgot to do a yarn over. The last two before the chain 2 space. All right. And again, in that chain 2 space, we're going to do 1, 2, double crochets, chain 2, and 1, whoopsie, and 2 double crochets. All right. So now, as you can see, we've gone from no extra double crochets when we created our first star point. There's no. Then we had 1 extra double crochet. Now we've got 2 extra double crochets. And this sets us up beautifully for every other round. So let's do this one more time, and then I'll let you finish this round on your own. Okay, so 1, 2 double crochets. This takes us to the valley of the star point. 1, 2, we're going to skip, and then we're going to do 1 and 2 on the way up. And then our star point, 1, 2, chain 2, and 1 and 2. All right, so meet me back around at the beginning, and then I'll set up row 4, sorry. 1, 2, round 3. The reason I count them this way is because I know here, if I mark this row, this is row 1 because I have 1 extra crochet. Row 2 is 2 extra. Row 3 is 3 extra, and so on and so forth. And that way, when I count back here, rather than, especially if you're on row 101, you're either going to have to count all your stitches, or you just count your rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're good to go. It's a lot easier. At least I think it is. But if you mark that row, you know approximately how many stitches, well, you know exactly how many stitches. So if I'm on row 100, I need to have 100, not the 2, I need to have 100 extra. I'm going to make this a little easier. Let's say it's row 10. I don't know if I've got that patient where I've done 100, but whatever. So here we are. We've got no extra double crochets, but we had our single crochet where we started. This technically, for me, this is how I think about it. This is row 1 because I've got my very first extra double crochet. Row 2, I'm going to have 2 double crochets. Row 3, so if I'm on row 10, I count my first one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I should have 10 double crochets coming down, not counting my star stitch, coming down to the middle. I should have 10 and 10 going back up, not counting the star stitch. Okay, so finish this round with your 2 extra double crochets, 1, 2, skipping those 2 middle stitches, 1, 2, and coming up with 1 and 2. All right, and I will meet you back around at the end. Okay, so here we are. I have already done my last full star stitch, so that's a number 11, okay? I've come down with my 2 double crochets. I'm going to skip my valley 1, 2, and I'm going to come up with my last 2 double crochets, and then I'm going to finish off that first partial star stitch. So I'm going to do 1 and 2, and then I'm going to half double slip stitch to join. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to I'm going to find that very first stitch. There we are. So I've got both sides of the V on my standing double, and I'm going to half double slip stitch to join. So now, as I said, we've got all of our circles. Then we've got our setup round with just the star point and the single crochet. Then our first round of actual, excuse me, star points plus the increase, okay? So we've got 1, now we've got 2. Now for round 3, okay, we're going to do our half double and our second double crochet. So there's half our star stitch in that chain 2 half double crochet to join, chain 2 space, and I got to make sure that I catch that very first double crochet. So right there, there's 1, okay, 2, but now there's going to be 3 coming down before the skip 2, okay? So there's my star stitch that I started, and now I've got 1, 2, 3 double crochets, skip my 2 in the valley. Sorry, my band-aid is coming off. I cut myself really badly yesterday, so I'm hoping it stays together. All right. And so I'm skipping my 2, and I'm going to come up in the next one. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. And there we go. And now from here on in, I'm just going to do my star point. 1, 2, and 1, and 2. Okay. So from here on in, it does not matter how many rows. You will always do 1 extra double crochet coming down and 1 extra coming up after skipping your 2 in the middle. So this round is let's try that again. The first round, there we are. The first round is 1, 2. Now this round is, where am I here? There we are. Ha ha. Oh, not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so now this one is 3, then my star point. Okay, so that's how you differentiate between the rows. You've got 1 extra after and before the star stitch, 2 extra, and now 3 extra. So let's do that one more time, and then I shall leave you on your own, because from here on in, literally it will build itself. I mean, you obviously have to do the stitching, but as long as you're not missing a stitch, okay, this blanket really does build itself. So there's my 3, there's my star point, 3 coming down. I'm going to skip 1, skip 2, and I'm going to do 3 coming back up. So 1 and 2 and 3 coming back up. All right, now I'm going to do my star stitch. So next round, it's going to be 4, round after 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth until this becomes as big as you want. Boy, that is really pretty, isn't it? Oh my goodness, I like it. Anyway, so having said that, I'm going to let you continue on. Because I've made this one today, I say this with great trepidation, I should be able to do the applique. I think I'm going to do a heart on the other one that we built, because I've done a few more rounds on it. I am trying to get that chocolate one done before I do the applique, but that's okay because we can still do the applique on the little one. But I can make that video before I get it finished. All right. So I think on the other one, we're going to do a tiny little heart on front and back. And I'm still looking for some yarn that'll work. I'm hoping I can find some, but I shall leave you here before I start yakking. I feel bad for everybody who listens to me yak, but here we are. There's this little one, and I'm hoping that this helped. I went a lot slower. I explained each of the stitches and how to get them started and all of that, each of the rows, how to get them started. What you have to remember is from here on in, every increase row will increase your number of crochets, number of doubles after, hang on one second, after your star stitch, there will be an increased number of double crochets by 1 on each down and each up. Okay, so you'll have 3, then 4, then 5. All right, so let me know if this works better for you. I can maybe do some with pictures. I can maybe do a post that you can download. I don't know. I make no promises. But thank you again, everyone. I cannot thank you all enough for watching, liking, subscribing, asking questions, telling me what I'm doing wrong, telling me what I'm doing right. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you all. So thank you for all of your comments. Thank you for being here with me. My name is Sherry. Be kind to yourself. And I am addicted to yarn.